And now, let's meet the starting lineups for today's contest. First, for the visiting Seminoles.
That's Alan. He's going to talk to you. You're the floor director. Okay. Press this when you need to talk to him like this. Press that. Hold that in when you want to talk to him. Huh? Basically, you're going to count us down, count us back in. He says we're going to go to break, whatever the case is. You're going to count us in and count us back out.
Alex. At guard, a 5'9" sophomore, number 12, Nikki Akamu. At forward, a 5'11" senior, number 20, Shakayla Thomas. At guard, a 5'9" senior, number 32, Imani Wright. And at center, a 6'3" senior, number 50, Shatrice White. The Seminoles are coached by Sue Samrow, assisted by Lance White, Brooke Wyckoff, and Danielle Atkinson. And now, introducing your Grambling State University Lady Tigers. At center, a 6'2" freshman from Brooklyn, New York, and number 0, Alicia Machado.
And welcome to the Frederick C. Hobby Assembly Center here on the campus of Grambling State University. The Grambling Lady Tigers getting ready to take on Florida State. Of course, Florida State comes into this game, one of the top-ranked teams in the nation. They come visiting Grambling State University for the first time in the history of the program. Ossie Clark joining me here on courtside. And, of course, it's been a busy weekend, although the Tigers have been off. It's been a busy weekend for basketball and, of course, for the SWAC. Ossie, this is going to be a big test for the Lady Tigers after their win against ULM. And, of course, they dropped a tough one to Xavier this week.
It's going to be a very big test because this Florida State University team comes in, the number 17 ranked team in the nation, and they're coming off a big win against Florida. The University of Florida just on Friday night, they beat the University of Florida Santoria 84-54, one of the largest wins they've had against the University of Florida. So this is going to be a very, very tough day, very tough team to play, but it gets you prepared for conference action and later on tournament action.
Absolutely. Of course, the Lady Tigers, we'll tell you about their starters here in just a second. But first of all, from Florida State, they will start at one guard, A.J. Alex, a redshirt senior, freshman, I should say, from Houston, Texas. Nikki Ekomo, a 5'9" sophomore from Bolingbrook, Illinois. Number 20, Shakayla Thomas, a 5'11" senior from Sylacauga, Alabama. Imani Wright, a 5'9" senior from Hooks, Texas, transfer from Baylor. And Shatrice White, a 6'3" senior from Shelby, Nebraska. Machado, Hill, Coleman, Boyd, and Torian will start for the Grambling Lady Tigers. We're just about ready to start here. Lady Tigers taking the floor, as well as Florida State. And we are just about ready for action. Of course, we'll have halftime interviews with both coaches, so make sure that you stand by for that. Just about time for basketball here at the Frederick C. Hobby Assembly Center. Hope you enjoy it between the Lady Tigers and the Lady Seminoles. Florida State will start things off. And right away, they go inside to the big girl, Shatrice White, and she has the first 2 points of the ball game. And that's something that the Lady Tigers will have to be careful of, is transition basketball.
That's one thing that Florida State does very well. They get the ball down inside to the big girl, and she's able to score the basketball once it gets down inside. Good job of recognizing immediately off the tip what was going on for Florida State to be able to score.
Lady Tigers trail 2-0, 9:34 remaining first quarter. Jasmine Torian, 3-point bucket. And the Lady Tigers now on top 3-2, 9:27 remaining here in the first quarter.
You see a lot of confidence in Jasmine Torian, the way she shot that basketball, allowing the defense to settle down on the inside.
And right back down the floor, this time it's Shakayla Thomas with the bucket out of Sylacauga, Alabama.
Tell you what, Santori, she's one of the top 30 basketball players in the nation by SportsCenter and ESPN. This young lady can really play basketball, has a couple of double-doubles this year for Florida State University.
4-3 is our score. Grambling trailing, 8:54 remaining in the first quarter play. Ball on the floor, recovered by Florida State. Coming back down the floor with it, Shakayla Thomas. She goes in for the bucket. No good, but she goes to the free throw line.
Shakala Thomas did a very good job on the defensive side of the ball, got her hands on the ball, went coast to coast against the Grambling Tiger defense, took it right at the defense, something that you would tell any of your players that whenever they're in transition and you're one-on-one, you want to go right at the defender. She does a pretty good job of getting to the defender, and now she's at the line.
First free throw is up and good, and this is something that the Lady Tigers want to be careful of. They got into a little bit of foul trouble, especially in the post during that ULM ball game, and this is one of those teams you cannot afford to get in trouble in the post.
Yeah, Thomas is one of those type of players too, Santoria. If she gets going in the basketball game, it could cause you a lot of problems. Thomas had 12 points, 8 boards, and moved into the 9th place all-time on the Florida State University Lady Seminoles basketball team in scoring.
Lady Tigers turn the ball over, and it comes back to Florida State.
Just an errant pass that time.
Florida State with the basketball, three-pointer on the way. It's up, it's good. This time by number 32, Imani Wright, and it's now 8-3 our score. Florida State on top.
One of the things that you notice about Florida State, they do a very good job of moving the ball around the perimeter. They're very crisp. They make the necessary screens. They get the pass where they need to get it at all times.
6-0 run here by Florida State. 8:08 remaining in the first quarter. Near turnover there by the Lady Tigers. Torian with a three-pointer up. Good! Both three-pointers scored by Jasmine Torian, and it's now 8-6.
All 6 points by Jasmine Torian. She's shooting the ball with a lot of confidence.
And a turnover. Lady Tigers get the ball back. Shakala Hill with the ball. Gets it down the floor. Nice transition basketball. And that was Jasmine Boyd for the bucket. It's now 8-8 our score. Lady Tigers tie the ball game up.
One thing that Florida State usually does well is they push tempo and they have big offensive runs. Right now we're seeing the Grambling Lady Tigers play good on the defensive side of the ball and have a nice run offensively right here.
Shot up by Wright, no good. That's going to be an over-the-back call against Florida State, it looks like. And it'll be on number 20, Shakala Thomas. That'll be her first personal. And the first team against Florida State. 8-8 our score. First quarter action. 7:27 left in the quarter.
What you have to like from the Grambling Lady Tigers in this basketball game, Santoria, is they're doing a very good job of not allowing the name Florida State to defeat them. So many times when you see games like this, the name on the jersey defeats the team before they even step out on the floor. Right now, the Lady Tigers are playing with a lot of poise, a lot of confidence, believing that they can play with anybody in the country.
Narcia Woolfolk and Ama Degbion now in the ball game for Florida State. Shakala Hill with the ball, now gets it to Machado. She takes the shot up, no good. Ball tipped, and it goes. Well, it's going to be a foul charged against Grambling, and it will go back to Florida State.
Yeah, that foul goes against Justice Coleman.
That's her second personal if it's against her. And she's one of those swing players that can play down low or out high. And so now with her having 2 personal fouls, Coach Murray will make a little bit of a change.
Thought he was going to go with Deja McKinney. Here's a dribble drive right there. Beautiful job that time getting in the lane by Woolfolk.
Woolfolk with her first points of the ball game. It's now 10-8, Grambling trailing. Nice little bounce pass. They go inside. Grambling trying to get it back out. Shot up and no good by Machado. Rebound by Grambling, and it's going to be a foul. Shakala Hill draws the foul.
Good job that time by Shakala Hill going into the land of giants that time. Kind of reminds you of Jack and the Beanstalk right there, saying going into the land of giants. She comes up huge because she wasn't afraid to go right at the defenders and take it right to the hole. Gets a foul. She's at the line with an opportunity to tie this basketball game for the second time.
First shot is up and good. Interesting story. Florida State brings redshirt senior guard Imani Wright home to her roots in Grambling, Louisiana for this tip-off. Both Wright's parents of Bridget Forte Thomas and Larry Wright played basketball at Grambling.
Yes,
and her father, of course, enjoyed a 12-year professional career. We all know Coach Wright, of course, now one of the assistant principals at Rayville High School.
Yes, sir. Wonderful man. Did a great job when he was here as basketball coach at Grambling. His steal.
Shakala Hill with the steal. She'll take it herself. She goes in, can't get the bucket, but she draws a foul on the way up. That foul is going to be charged to number 13, if I'm not mistaken, Woolfolk. And that'll be her first personal 13 foul. More importantly, the Lady Tigers now have gone to the line 2 out of 3 times that Florida State has fouled.
And that's a good thing because it shows you that they're attacking the basket, trying to make sure that they put pressure on this Florida State team.
Coming into the contest now for Florida State, A.J. Alex.
A.J. Alex is one of those type of players that you can't allow her to get into a rhythm. Once she gets into a rhythm, she could really light you up. She had 26 points the other night versus Florida.
Shot is up and good. Chakala Hill now giving Grambling an 11-10 lead. 6:22 remaining here in the first quarter of play. Three-pointer on the way up. Good. Imani Wright hits the bucket. And it's 13-11. Florida State making the long trip. Here's a shot by Chakala Hill. Up, no good. Rebound by Florida State. A.J. Alex with the ball, now right side to right. Shot is up, good.
You got to find out where people are in transition. Even though you're supposed to protect the basket, there's nobody down there. So you got to guard the next closest man. And that time they got caught out of position in the transitional defense, and another three-point bucket for Florida State.
Jasmine Boyd now with the ball, looking, trying to find an open person. Tight defense being played by Florida State, and Alex comes away with the turnover. Over to Wright. Wright goes in.
Missed the
Can't
bucket.
get the bucket. Ball is tipped. Comes back out to Florida State. Alex, a three-pointer. Good.
Can't do that with her, Santoria. She's too good of a basketball player. I think she's 13 or 16 of 29. Add a couple of more now to what she's able to do.
9-0 run now for the Lady Seminoles. We're going to take this time out. The score, 9-11, Grambling trailing. We'll be right back. Tigers trail 19-11, a 9-0 run by the Lady Seminoles here. They've gone on two runs, one 6-0, now 9-0. Lady Tigers now trying to get things going. Imani Wright right now on fire for Florida State.
That's what they actually do, Santoria. They put you in bad positions so that they can get the run started there, and that's what they do best. They get good runs, big runs. Just the other night they had a 10-point run against Florida State, and they was able to close out the third quarter.
Looks like more of a 2-3 zone, but it's more of a matchup zone. And the shot is up, no good, and it will go back to Florida State. 19-11 our score, 4:41 remaining here in the first quarter of play.
You talked about Imani Wright. She's 3 for 5 from the field right now, 3 of 3. She has 9 points in the basketball game for Florida State.
Seminoles with the basketball. Shot up, no good. Rebound by Thomas, and it comes out to Woolfolk. Of course, a big weekend for Grambling State University. Bayou Classic coming up this weekend. Drive, shot up on the baseline, good.
Good job that time of getting to the rim.
Ukumu with the basket. Three-pointer on the other side by Grambling, up and good. Three-pointer by Deja McKinney, the sophomore from Ville Platte.
Deja McKinney had a career-high night the other night against Xavier. Just wasn't enough to help the Lady Tigers. Good job of cutting into this Florida State lead.
And right back on the other side, Lady Seminoles get the bucket. This time it's AJ Alex. And it's now 23-14. Lady Tigers trail by 9, 3:40 remaining in the quarter. Shakala Hill with the basketball, left side now to Jasmine Boyd. Still 10 on the shot clock. Shakala Hill will drive, goes up for the shot. It's blocked out of there, goes back to Graham.
Yeah, Shakala Hill tried to go in against one of the centers right there, 6'2" center from Germany.
Imani Wright and Shatrice White will come into the ball game for Florida State. And for the Lady Tigers, Jacqueline Jones comes into the contest. Jones, three-pointer on the way. Good! Jacqueline Jones, JJ with a jumper, and it's now 23-17. Lady Tigers trail by 6. Imani Wright on the other side, three-pointer, no good. Tip, no good. Foul coming up, and Ukumu will go to the line.
Yeah, Ukumu did a very good job of being able to rebound that basketball. Long shot equal long rebound. She was in perfect position. Shakala Hill is playing behind her. She's got to do a better job of working around, and that's just what the coach just told her just a moment ago. You got to get around and get in better position to rebound the basketball.
First free throw is up and good by Florida State. National polls this week, AP top 25, Florida State 17, and the USA Today coaches top 25. They are in the preseason. They were 14, so this is a team that is top 25 caliber. Of course, Coach Murray's got some good friends and has some roots with Florida State. And they were able to get them in here.
You're talking about a team, Santoria, in their history, has 16 NCAA appearances, 14 appearances to the field of 32, 5 times to the Sweet 16, and 3 times to the Elite 8.
Going back to 2012, I think that may have been the only time that these two teams have hooked up. Other than that, this is the first time, and it's their first visit to Grambling State University. And the first time they played a team from the SWAC on the road. Ball goes out of bounds off of, they say it's off of Florida State, or off of Grambling. It goes to Florida State.
That's probably the right call. A number of hands were in there on that particular play. And, of course, the trail referee wasn't in great position at all to actually help, even if there was a need for a conference.
Ball was tied up momentarily. Three-pointer by Alex is up, and it's no good. Air ball. Jacqueline Jones went for the ball but didn't touch it, goes out of bounds, and goes back to the Lady Tigers. Nice shot there by Alex, but really a great job by Jones trying to just box her out there on the replay.
Yeah, did a very good job of making sure that nobody from Florida State was able to touch the basketball.
25-17 is our score. Florida State on top. 2:27 left in the first quarter of play.
Lady Tigers just need to continue to be patient and take the shots that they can get against this Florida State defense.
A little bit too much there by Deja McKinney, and Florida State gets the ball back. McKinney tried for the steal.
Can't have simple mistakes like that.
And there's going to be a foul coming up on Grambling.
I think that one's going against number 24.
Yeah, that's going to go against JJ. Jacqueline Jones, the freshman from Little Rock, Arkansas, will get the foul. That'll be her first personal. 4th team foul. And now Jasmine Torian comes into the ball game. Of course, this is she is scheduled to graduate in December.
Oh,
near foul there by Grambling on the reach.
Almost a steal, though. If she'd have hit the ball with her left hand, that was the hand that was close to the ball. That's a steal.
Alex for a three-pointer. It's up. No good. Rebound by Thomas. And Wright comes away with the ball. She shoots a three-pointer. No good. And it goes back into the hands of Florida State. Shot up, no good, and there for the rebound, Takara Parsons from Virginia Beach.
See what the Lady Tigers can do on this offensive possession. Three-point bucket would be good, but just anything right now. Lady Tigers have gone cold from the field.
Shot up by McKinney up and good. 3-point bucket.
We called for the three-point bucket, and we actually got it that time. Good job setting her feet. She had space. Look at the rotation on that ball. Knocks it down.
Inside, right back on the other side. That's number 20, Shakala Thomas, for the bucket. And
that's too easy.
Way too easy. You talked about McKinney. She averaged 25 points, 6 assists, and 3 steals during her senior year at Ville Platte High School. Jasmine Boyd with the basketball to Machado.
Bad pass.
And Florida State comes away with it. With the basketball is Woolfolk. She goes in, and it's going to go out of bounds off of Florida State. Back to Grambling. 31 seconds left in the quarter. And now coming into the ball game for Florida State, that's 25, and it's going to be Degbian.
Let's talk about that defensive hustle right there. That was a good job of getting beat on one end, recovering to the defensive side of the floor, getting the block, and causing the block to go off of the offensive player that time. That's just a wonderful job by the Grambling Lady Tigers on the defensive end.
Grambling with the basketball. Parsons now gets it out to Machado. Machado back to Jasmine Boyd, right side. Torian, three-pointer, up, no good. And the rebound by Machado, a freshman from Brooklyn, New York. And a timeout charge to Grambling State with 8 seconds remaining. We'll keep it right here. Don't forget, Bayou Classic is coming up this Saturday, 4 p.m. We'll take a short timeout here. When we come back, more from here at the Frederick C. Hobbs Assembly Center with the score 27-20, Grambling trailing. The Frederick C. Hobby Assembly Center, Santoria Black, Aussie Clark joining you here on a Sunday afternoon. Lady Tiger basketball. They're taking on Florida State, number 17 team in the country. 27-20, 3 seconds left. Torian's going to be called for the travel.
Yeah, that one was pretty easy to call. Official standing right on top of the play that time. One of the things that you got to remember is that if you're going to travel, you got to bring the luggage with you, and the luggage is the basketball.
Near steal. Shot up at the end of the quarter, no good, and that's the end of the first quarter. With the score, Florida State 27, Grambling 20. We're going to take this timeout. We'll be right back. Center here on the campus of Grambling State University, Santoria Black along with Ossie Clark. For today's ball game, a couple of people that we have not seen in the contest. Obviously, one is Monisha Neal. Haven't seen her in the contest here today.
Looked like I saw Neal over on the sideline earlier, just kind of stretching it out. Don't know what's actually wrong with her, but it looks like she was stretching.
Grambling with the basketball, shot up, no good. Ball tipped around. Machado is going to be called for the foul.
Just kind of push a couple of things across for you real quick. Thomas for Florida State, 2 for 3, 5 points in the game. And Mari Wright, 3 for 7, 9 points. Only 2 turnovers for Florida State at this point. But Grambling has a couple of players. Jasmine Torian is 2 for 3, 6 points. And McKinney has 2 for 2. She has 6 points. Lady Tigers have 7 turnovers, though, to match the amount of points they trail by.
Turnover, and Grambling has the ball. Coming out with the basketball, McKinney. She goes in for the bucket. It's good. 27-22. 9:16 remaining here in this first half of play.
Lady Tigers showing full court pressure now. Full court man-to-man. Did a good job on transition the last time down, hitting that easy layup and then picking up the pressure now. Gotta like that.
Florida State with the basketball. Alex pulls back and goes to the three-point line. Up, rattles in and out, no good.
No box out underneath that time by Hill.
They can move with the ball. It's going to be a foul down low. It's going to be on Machado, it looks like.
Yeah, she pushed pushed White right in the back that time. It was pretty easy.
8:48 remaining here in this first half of play. 27-22 the score. Coming into the game now for Grambling is going to be Alexis Williams, the 6-foot freshman from Memphis.
This Florida State team is tall, big, and athletic. They get up and down the floor as well as any basketball team I've seen in a long time.
Right, a three-pointer up and good. Can't leave her alone. It's now 30-22.
That's our 4th one of the game.
8:40 remaining here in the first half of play.
4 of 8 in the ball game.
Grambling with the basketball. Three-pointer again. Shot up good. Deja McKinney from Ville Platte.
Good job that time. Knew where she was on the floor. Had space again. Set it up. Knocked it down.
Offensive foul charge to Florida State. I believe that's going to go against 25, Degbian. Second personal.
Nice little run right now by the Lady Tigers on the offensive side of the basketball. Got an easy transitional bucket, then turn around, knock down the 3, now only trailing by 5 points. If the Lady Tigers keep this pace up where they will continue to be patient and take those shots that are necessary, it should be a pretty good.
Jasmine Torian, turnaround jumper, good.
Should be a pretty good game for the Lady Tigers. Good job that time by Jasmine Torian catching the ball in the high post, giving a little spin action, get a little kiss off the rim that time. Look at the pressure being put on the basketball.
8 points for Jasmine Torian. Three-pointer by Florida State, up good, knocking it down is number 12. That's going to be Ekamu.
Ekamu did a good job that time setting her feet, knocking it down as well. But Grambling is collapsing so hard, they have to remember that Florida State at all times has somebody out there around the perimeter ready for the kickout.
Three-pointer by Torian, up no good, air ball, and it's rebounded by Nausea Woolfolk.
Grambling kind of loafing a little bit on the defensive transition. They got to get back.
Right with the shot up, no good. Rebound going up high for it. That was Ikomu. Three-pointer up no good. And coming down with the rebound is Thomas. It goes out of bounds back to Grambling. Now coming back into the ball game. Oh, they're going to have a timeout here on the floor. It'll be a timeout by Florida State. We'll take a timeout as well. With the score, Florida State 33 and Grambling 27. We'll take this timeout. We'll be right back. Second bucket of the ball game. She has 5 points. Turnover. Florida State has it. Alex with the ball. Takes a step. Goes in and gets the bucket. And this is what Florida State does. They go back and forth with it.
They go back and forth. They get into these rhythms where they get on these big runs, and that's how they usually hurt basketball teams, Santoria, because most teams can't stand the runs.
Graham with the ball inside. Nice pass to Torian. She goes in, gets the bucket. She has 12 points now in the contest. Jasmine Torian, of course, had 23 against Ole Miss. That was in the upset that they had in the WNIT in the first round last year. She had 10 rebounds against Southern, also a career high. That was last year in February. Back down on the other side, easy bucket in paint by Shakala Thomas.
Yeah, once Thomas made that little cut to the rim, it was an easy pass for White to make, and she was able to get to the rim and score the basketball. She's one of those ladies, again, top 30 players in the country.
Torian with the ball inside, draws a double team, gets it out to Shakala Hill. Not a Boyd. 12 on the shot clock, 42-31.
Florida State is being deceptive because what they're doing, Santoria, is they're really playing a matchup man-to-man.
And a foul coming up against Florida State. That's going against number 12. That's going to go against Ekamu. 42-31, Grambling trailing with 4:15 remaining in the first half of play.
Not an insurmountable odd right now if you're the Lady Tigers.
First free throw up, no good.
I don't understand, Santoria, in the game of basketball, one of the easiest things that you can do is get up there to the line and knock down free throw shots. And I'm watching more and more where younger kids are having the hardest time being able to hit those bunnies.
A lot of it is just concentration. Shakala Hill, one of the better free throw shooters on this team. She knocks down the second one. On the season, Shakala Hill, 86% free throw shooter, so she doesn't miss much. Three-pointer on the way, no good, off the rim by Woolfolk. And it's going to be a foul against Florida State.
Ooh, it's a foul?
Yep, it's going to be on number 12, Nikki Ekamu. Second personal. Coming back into the lineup now for the Lady Tigers, actually for the first time tonight, will be Lanisha Jeans, that 5'9" junior from San Diego, California.
Ekamu had a pretty good game the other night, too. She had a double-double against University of Florida, 14 points and 11 boards.
This is definitely a tournament team, so this gets Grambling ready. Played Xavier on the road the other night. That was a close ball game for the Lady Tigers. Jeans with the basketball. Near steal. McKinney gets out to Parsons. Shot up no good. Rebound by Wright.
Use that glass, baby. That's what it's there for. That big old square is up there for a reason. You can't miss opportunities against this squad.
And Deja McKinney gets the ball after the steal by Shakala Hill. Going in for the bucket, no good. And she will go to the line. Great job by McKinney putting her body in between the ball and the bucket. And two coming up here for the Lady Tigers.
Good job that time of being able to get back on the defensive side of the ball. She was able to get the steal, go coast to coast, and take the punishment that came along with the foul from Thomas.
Shakala Thomas with her second personal. Ekomu, Thomas, and Degmian all with two personals. Coming out of the contest now for the Lady Tigers will be Alexis Williams. Jasmine Torian comes back in.
Torian, if she can get on another streak right here, would be great for the Lady Tigers. Knocked down a couple of big three-pointers in this game, already with 12 points.
Shot up and good. 42-34 the score, Grambling trailing. Inside for the bucket, the big girl, that's Chantrice White from Shelby, Nebraska.
That was just bad defense. That's all that was, Santoria. That's Jasmine Torian not being on the swivel, not ready to play defense down low that time for the Lady Tigers. Got to play on both ends.
Jeans with the basketball, looking for Shakala Hill. Gets her the basketball. Nice pick set by Torian. Hill going in for the bucket, no good. Takara Parsons goes in, gets the bucket, and she'll go to the line to try to complete the three-point play.
That's a way to put pressure on the defense. Attacking the rim that time was Hill. She did a very good job of getting to the rim. Missed the layup, but Parsons was right there. Good pick, good step, get all the way to the rim. Then look at the rebounding position. Parsons is in, and she gets the easy bunny right there to help the Lady Tigers cut into this lead.
Takara Parsons gets the bucket. 44-37 now the score. Parsons with 3 points. 2:42 left to go. First half of play.
Noticing that on the defensive side of the ball, sometimes the Lady Tigers have a tendency to get over their toes playing this man-to-man. Your back's got to be flat, your butt's got to be down, you got to bend those legs. Hips are a big part of what you do on the defensive side of the floor.
Shot up, no good. Tipped around off of Florida State, back to the Lady Tigers.
A.J. Alex not happy with herself about that shot. Normally that's a shot that she makes easily, Santoria. Goes in there trying to hit the teardrop that time. Lady Tigers trailing by 7 right now. Have a chance to cut into this lead.
Parsons with the basketball, gets it over to McKinney.
Still got plenty of time on the shot clock. Three-pointer going up.
It's no good. And Lady Seminoles with the rebound with 1:55 remaining in the first half of play. Alex with the basketball.
I want to pick up a cheap foul.
Great defense there by Parsons.
Yes, get on the...
Still plenty of time left on the shot clock, but Grambling playing some monster defense. And that time,
be off of her.
Knocked out of Florida State's hands, off of a knee of a Florida State player, back to the Lady Tigers.
That's good defense. That's good hustle. That's good want to. You can tell Coach Freddie Murray has done an outstanding job of making sure that at all times his Lady Tigers know how to hustle throughout the course of a basketball game. They have active hands on the defensive side of the ball. That's what makes them so tough. Bad pass.
Steal. Here comes Florida State in transition. Spin move, goes up for the shot, good. That's going to be Woolfolk on the spin.
That's just an awesome job. Hooked her, kept her off of her, got to the rim.
46-37, Torian for 3, up, no good. Rebound by Shakala Hill.
One thing that Shakala Hill always does a very good job of, Santoria, is being in the right place to get those rebounds when they come off on shots. She's tough underneath the board. Kind of reminds me of Kenny Lofton when Kenny Lofton used to play for the University of Arizona.
Grambling will inbound the basketball. Jasmine Torian with the ball, gets it out to McKinney. 55 seconds remaining in the first half of play. Grambling trailing 46-37. Three-pointer by McKinney, up off the window, no good. And here comes Florida State once again. Foul away from the basketball. It's going to be on Jasmine Torian. That'll be her first personal. Coming into the ballgame now for the Lady Tigers will be Alexis Williams. Right now with the basketball. Nice job turning towards the bucket, and it's good. Dagobon with the basket.
Yeah, Dagobon did a very good job of being able to hold position, gets a good spin move, but that's an even better job getting the pass inside that time by Amari Wright.
Of course, I look in the audience, and I see a Shauna Wright play here at Grambling State University.
Outstanding basketball player, one of the greats here at Grambling State during that huge run that the Lady Tigers were on with Coach Bibbs and also Coach Ponton.
Knocked out of the hands of Grambling. Florida State has the ball, 3 seconds left, and it's going to be a foul coming up on Deja McKinney. They disagree with the call right there from McKinney. That's going to be number 1 on her. 0.8 of a second remaining until halftime.
I don't know if you can disagree with that one or not. It's tough. But if you're going to foul somebody, I mean, I've always been told that you got to make them pay for it. I don't know how much she made A.J. Alex really pay for that right on that particular play, but she's at the line. Missed the first one, though.
Yeah, Alex has been struggling with her free throws. 60% free throw shooter this year. She's only been in the free throw line 5 times this year. course, we'll get some comments coming up at halftime. And that'll do it. We're at halftime. Candace Dixon is over on the sideline. She is going to get an interview with their head coach, Sue Samaru, in just a second.